2015 clinical trial published in the Journal of the American Heart Association, researchers found that adding 1 avocado a day to a moderate fat diet lowered participants' LDL cholesterol more than a low-fat diet without it. Most people only see the fruit. Very few know that the leaves, the seed, and even the oil of this plant have separate, documented uses that go back thousands of years before anyone called it a superfood. So what exactly is hiding inside this one plant, and how much of it are we actually using? The avocado tree is Persea americana, a member of the Lauraceae family, the same family as cinnamon and bay laurel. It's native to south-central Mexico and grows today across tropical and subtropical regions, including California, Florida, Mexico, and parts of South America. Archaeological evidence from Coxcatlan Cave in Puebla, Mexico, shows avocado pits dating back roughly 10,000 years, with clear signs of cultivation by around 5000 BCE. The Aztecs called it aguacatl, and it was a staple food across Mesoamerica long before European contact. The fruit's flesh is roughly 15% fat by weight, mostly monounsaturated fat, alongside fiber, potassium, and lutein. This fat profile is associated with improved blood lipid markers when it replaces saturated fat in the diet. A 2015 randomized controlled trial by Chris Etherton and colleagues, published in the Journal of the American Heart Association, compared a moderate fat diet containing 1 avocado per day against a lower fat diet without avocado. The avocado group showed a greater reduction in LDL cholesterol, an average difference of roughly 13.5 milligrams to little more than the comparison diet. Avocado trees thrive in USDA zones 9 to 11. Fruit doesn't ripen on the tree. It's harvested mature but firm, typically indicated by size and slight color change depending on variety, then left to soften at room temperature over several days. The fruit remains the dominant commercial product, sold fresh, processed into oil, and marketed heavily in the health food space, particularly for its fat profile and versatility. But the fruit isn't where traditional use of this plant stops. Avocado leaves come from the same Persea americana tree, elongated, leathery, and aromatic when crushed, with a scent similar to anise in some varieties. Traditional Mexican and Central American herbal medicine has used avocado leaf tea for digestive complaints and as a folk remedy for high blood pressure since at least the colonial period, with use likely predating written records. Avocado leaf extracts have shown a measurable hypotensive, blood pressure lowering, and vasorelaxant effect in laboratory studies, meaning they relax blood vessel walls. A study by Owolabi and colleagues, published in Phytoterapia, tested aqueous avocado leaf extract on isolated blood vessel tissue and in animal models. The extract produced measurable vasorelaxation and reduced blood pressure in the tested animals. This is preclinical, animal-based evidence, not yet confirmed in large human trials. Leaves are typically harvested young, air-dried in shade to preserve volatile compounds, then steeped as tea. Important caution: avocado leaves and pits can contain persin, a compound that is toxic to many animals, especially birds, horses, and lactating mammals, so they should never be given to pets or livestock. Avocado leaf remains largely a traditional remedy today, sold dried in Latin American herbal markets, with limited but growing scientific interest in its cardiovascular effects. The seed. The avocado seed, or pit, sits at the fruit's center and is typically discarded, despite making up close to 15 to 20% of the fruit's total weight. Mesoamerican traditional medicine used ground avocado seed for digestive ailments, including diarrhea, and as a folk treatment believed to expel intestinal parasites, with documented use continuing into 20th century rural herbal practice in Mexico and Central America. The seed contains a notably high concentration of phenolic compounds and condensed tannins, giving it strong antioxidant activity in laboratory testing. A study by Rodriguez Carpena and colleagues, published in Food Research International, analyzed avocado byproducts, including peel and seed, and found the seed extract had antioxidant capacity comparable to some synthetic antioxidants when tested in food preservation models. This was an in vitro laboratory study, not a human clinical trial, so its relevance is currently to food science and early-stage research rather than direct human dosing. The seed is simply saved after eating the fruit, then air-dried thoroughly before grinding or extraction. Raw seed should not be consumed in large amounts due to tannin content and the presence of persin. Avocado seed extract is gaining interest in the food preservation and cosmetic industries as a natural antioxidant additive, though it remains a minor market compared to the fruit and oil. The oil. Avocado oil is cold-pressed from the fruit's flesh, distinct from the seed. It's a stable, high smoke point oil, rich in oleic acid, similar in composition to olive oil. Oil extraction from avocado flesh has roots in traditional Mesoamerican use for skin conditions, though large-scale cold pressing as an industry is a 20th century development, expanding significantly from the 1990s onward in California and later globally. Beyond culinary use, avocado oil and its unsaponifiable fraction, the portion that doesn't turn into soap during processing, have been studied specifically for joint health in osteoarthritis. Avocado soybean unsaponifiables, or ASU, have been tested in multiple randomized controlled trials since the 1990s, with a notable meta-analysis by Mahieu and colleagues, published in Cochrane and rheumatology literature, finding that ASU supplementation reduced pain and months-aid use in patients with knee and hip osteoarthritis compared to placebo, particularly in more severe cases. Avocado oil is produced by mechanically pressing ripe avocado flesh, not the seed. It's not something harvested at home. It requires cold press equipment, so it's typically sourced as a commercial product. Look for extra virgin or cold-pressed labeling to ensure minimal processing. Avocado oil is now firmly mainstream, used in cooking, skincare formulations, and as the specific ASU extract in joint health supplements sold in pharmacies and health stores. First, don't discard what you're not eating. Dried avocado leaf tea and seed extracts have documented traditional and early scientific interest, though they're not substitutes for medical treatment. Second, if cholesterol management is your goal, the research points specifically to whole avocado fruit as part of a moderate fat diet, not the seed or leaf. Third, if joint pain is your concern, ASU supplements are the specific, studied form, not raw oil alone. The fruit alone carries real, trial-tested cardiovascular benefit, but the leaf, seed, and oil each carry their own separate, documented history, most of it still sitting in early stage or traditional use territory, waiting for larger human trials to catch up. This is educational content, not medical advice. Talk to your doctor before changing your diet or starting any supplement, especially if you're managing high cholesterol, joint disease, or are on medication. If this kind of plant-by-plant breakdown is useful to you, subscribe. Next time, we're going beyond the leaf, on a plant most people only know as a spice.